Good night, fellow punters. Burning the midnight oil. The clock on the wall says 17 minutes past midnight. But I decided to get this out of the way because I have everything sort of prepared, and it takes a while to get set up with videos and different things and what's in my head. I mean, the last hour and a half, I'm home about an hour and a half. I went straight into it, had a cup of tea. I had 2 pints close to home. I was a bit thirsty, so I had to get it out of the way. Long day. I was gone at I went about 11. Interesting journey. There was a lot of buses pulled in, young lads well dressed, relieving themselves in fields and behind hedges and bushes, and minibuses pulled up for girls at filling stations for toilets, and you could see that there was going to be a big crowd, and there was. And a lot of people commented on going in that they never seen a queue as big, but it was moving very quickly. Met a good few there today. A few photographs taken. Pat from Kilkenny, his buddies with the guy, I can't think of his name, he's from Waterford. I met him in Gordon Park. He does send on bulletins every day to John O'Callaghan in Sligo. John mustn't be on the television at all, but he gets a birdie or a carrier pigeon delivered to him every day with the tips. I met Roy Harris from Langar City. Roy was looking for me last year and he didn't meet me, so we had a good chat there today. We nearly missed the start of, well, we actually did. We watched on the big screen in Solness's race, because I said after he jumped in the last, I said we have a chance here of getting to the favourite. The SP was 33-1 in that race, and there was no 25-1 or no 33-1 available on all boards. And I even asked Hugo, the bookie, afterwards, how did they come up with that SP? He wasn't able to tell me either, because he said, what price was I? And I said, you were 20s. So I walked around everywhere because I was looking to back it each way. I only backed it at 20s. I didn't get 33s at all. But that's neither here nor there. I met Noel Casey from 6 Mile Bridge. He'd be neighbours of Robert Deegan. Chatted with him for a while. Brian Boyd from Riverstown. He's home from Vancouver. He said he knew Gordon Elliott fairly well, so he used to work at the stable. So I thought he was a jockey. No, he's in the construction or the building game, but he's out in Vancouver now. And Nigel Cummins from Clonberne, had a good chat with him. He was at me to go for a pint, but I couldn't. I was too far away. There were several people that shook hands with me after the Galway hurl. I'd say if Jesse Evans had got up to win, I might have been. There was a couple with cameras out, I believe, watching my movements. But a funny thing happened. I went into a queue for a cup of coffee. They have an awful bad setup there. There's 5 of them within in a van or a stall, a selling stall. And there's only one making the coffee, and it all has to be put into a machine. And you queue, you place the order, then you pay, and then you wait. So I was waiting, and the next thing I knew, they were going to the start for the Galway hurl, and I said to her, I can't wait much longer. But she said, it's not ready yet, so I said, I'll get it after. So I always go to the stand for the Galway hurl and the Galway plate, but I couldn't get to the stand, so I watched it on the big screen. But when they had started, when the race had started, when I got up to to see it good enough, and I could see that Jesse Evans was back a bit farther than I'd liked, and he was in on the rail. But I thought coming to the dip, he just needed to move out, and I was watching Zarek the Brave. I said he's going equally as well, and I had mentioned last night that he won for us before, and he didn't another time in France, and I had planned in my head to do a reverse forecast with the two of them, but I didn't get any reverse forecast on at all. The crowd was too big because between showers and everything. So you couldn't get in line or queues. And it was terrible, I thought. And but he ran a hell of a race. But I thought at one stage jumping the net, I thought we'd get to him. So a big difference in money. I made a few pound back, but like a tenner each way on the Ash Tree Meadow yesterday, tens, and on 20s today, a quarter of the odds. It was coming to 2,600, and it was 100 or 220 back for the each way double, like, some difference. So several people just said, I done the double, we were in awful hard luck. So the bookies were saved a good few pound by that, like, so we could have pulled the ball big time. We had several long priced places. Solness was second at 33-1, and that was second to the favourite. Don't Stop the Music was second to the favourite. I backed him without the favourite at threes, and a girl came over to when I was chatting Nigel Cummins, and she says, I picked you out, you're too well dressed men, you must know what you're doing. I don't know why she put that together, and I told her to go over, and it was 9-4 without I said the favourite will win, but that'll be second. I had heard through the day that the owner had said that last night in parts of the town. We had a winner, J.M. Jungle, in England. I didn't know that until I got back to the car and watched the video of it. I missed it. So that's the third day in a row we've hit the last one in Goodwood. So we'll be hoping to do the same tomorrow. I was thinking today if we just had the one bet of Goodwood the last 3 days, but we didn't do so bad because I went out to 10-1 today. I actually backed it at sixes last night, and I backed it each way again at tens today before I went into the races. And I didn't even know the result until after. But anyway, not too bad. We're keeping with it. Oh yeah, the lad from Mallow that I met in Killarney earlier, I met him today. I just send my best wishes to your mum. She has a similar illness to myself, but she's in good health, he was saying. I forget your first name. Anyway, tomorrow, interesting day. I'll miss some of the racing tomorrow night. I have to umpire an intermediate championship match. The referee's first intermediate championship match tomorrow night, so it's a big night for him, so I couldn't let him down. And the match is at 7:30, I think. Oh no, it's senior championship tomorrow night. Intermediate championship Saturday. I have tomorrow night and I have Saturday, so I'm going to miss some of Saturday's racing as well. So I'm about to get out of Dodge here. The 150 at Goodwood tomorrow. 2.5 mile on soft ground. Lots of horses there, but there's a horse I'm going back to on account of the ground is Law of the Sea each way. It's a 10 and 11 and 12-1 shot there in places. We backed it in Ascot when it was fourth to a horse with no name. It had been second or fourth in Chester in the Chester Cup, and he ran his best race that day on soft ground, and that was his first run for a new trainer, Ian Williams. The last time you can throw that out because it was behind Call in the Wind, and that was the Pitman's Derby. So he ran well enough in Ascot. And the reason I'm showing you this, I'll be picking a horse and I won't need to show it a second time in Galway tomorrow evening, and he will be coming on the right hand side in the colours that was successful for us in the Galway plate yesterday, Elmore Stud.
Behind those, the white
two from the right now.
The whim. Still there as well is Tritonic.
I love the sea is in front.
Then Weston from the back of the field. A horse with no name is behind these. Solent Gateway comes next as now. Law of the Sea has the advantage. A horse with no name against the running rail. Asked to quicken by William Burke and has come through to take it up now. Just on the outside, Weston is trying to get into contention. Calling the Wind is still there, but a horse with no name. She has the winning name today. Wins the Ascot Stakes, the Calling the Wind, and then Tritonic in company with Law of the Sea.
So remember that horse in fifth. We're tipping that later. I wanted to show that. I wanted to show it a second time. So going Law of the Sea. The ground, I think, was just, he's an out-and-out stayer, and his best run was on soft ground. That's why I'm picking him tomorrow. Then in the 220, Nostrum should win that. His pounds the best on ratings. Docklands is 104, Bold Discovery 109, Galleran 109, and he's 114. If he runs to within £3 of his rating, he'll win. His money on. What price is here? I think it was 8 to 15. On to the Golden Mile. I think we have three bus horses in this. We have Latam. That won last time out for us. We have Blue for You that won last time out for us. And we have Roscoelan that won the other day. If we go back with the white cap, this is Blue for You winning for us. He's on the rail, but he's a big, strong horse, and no, this is the Golden. This is last year. Last year's race. Watch Orban behind.
Then Lawful Command, who's ridden for more with Austrian Theory. Orban is trying to stay on. Rebel Territory says it up to Uzo. Orban is there out in the clear, trying to burst through as well. Orban to the inside has come through to pick it up from Uzo, Rebel Territory, and then Blue for You and Lawful Command. Orban is going to be a clear-cut winner of the Golden Mile. Orban the winner.
Orban won it last year, and we had been on Orban a few times prior to that last year. We weren't on him that day. I can't remember what we were on in that race. But both of them last year were drawn 1 and 2. And you have to be sort of drawn low. But the run style of Blue for You, he's drawn 11. If he was drawn 1 or 2 this year, he'll go back to a place. I'm hoping that Jason Watson will be able to get a good position. And his run the last day, this is him with the white cap. I think he's in better form this year than he was in last year. And he picked up quicker here.
So to his Eileen Doom. We're a quarter of a mile to go. Isla Kai has backed the near side rail. Ross Collin is next, followed by La Trinidad. And then Scottish Summit. Nothing from Manny Gordo, and tailing off is Barley. They race now inside the final furlong. And now it is Blue for You, who bursts through and claims the lead in the hands of Danny Tudhope. Blue for You has now gone clear. He goes to a lead of 2.5 lengths. What's the story will give? Chase in second, but it is Vain Chase. He was second last year, an emphatic and well-back winner this year.
I think he's in better form. He was second in that race last year. He won it this year. I'm going against Latam. Latam is a fast finisher as well, but it gets to the horror bother when it won the Lincoln in Ireland, or it got into trouble, and even it made a horrid heavy workload when it was winning in Newcastle the last day. Awal is another one. I come from behind horse. We're back to the last couple. It got our money back, but it's in trap 12. I think, and this could be the biggest boo-boo of all time, is going for Blue for You, but he's a price. 10, 11, 12 to 1. They're paying 5 places and 6 places in play. The green bookie is paying 6 there. That's the selection. Highfield Princess should win this. His pounds in the best. Group 1 horse several times. If you look at the figures there, rate 117. The next one is 110. £7 ahead of the field. So there's Hamish in the next race as well, something similar. Pounds the best. I seldom, my old form, I don't tip up favourites, but I'm going to tip them 3 as a treble. They're 8 to 15, 10 to 11, and 8 to 11, and that's just slightly over a 4 to 1 treble. If one goes down, you're only a pint down, but if the 3 that come in, you're 3 up. I've no opinion on the nursery, and then we go to the last race of the day, and they're saying he hit the 3 of them the last 3 days. What's he on tomorrow? What am I on is right. I'm going to go for Nader King. The reason being it's soft ground. It's 1.5 miles, 1.3 and a bit. But it has good form on soft ground. Won its maiden on soft ground and to second to King of Steel, only beaten 4 lengths in its second lifetime run in Nottingham last October on soft ground as well. And the last time, I think it's nice, it was off 84. It went up £3 for being second. This was in the Byberry Cup in Salisbury. Well, I'll go back a bit in here. But that's him in the...
As they go, it's Baltic Voyage that leads
to
its second position now. As Masai Mara's once again the errant galactic Jack
he had the measure of all the rest of them. But the other one came out, if you remember the race, he came over this side and he just never got to him. But he bet the rest of them fairly well.
Hold the call, you know. Nader King's getting going towards the far side. Then Masai Mara and Baltic Voyage goes over from the rear of the field as well. They're deep inside the final furlong now, and it's Galactic Jack, who hasn't been a particularly trustworthy conveyance, still just about the leader. Nader King is finishing strongly. Galactic Jack and Nader King now. Galactic Jack has beaten Nader King. It is
up £3 for that, but he was just caught off guard, I thought, that day, because the other one set sail for home and came over this side of the field. Anyway, that's that. That'd be my best bet in I'd have to say that, wouldn't it, in what do you call it, in Goodwood. On to Galway. I get through this fast as I can now. Bus horse in the first race. Well, there's a few of them, but there's really only one for us because the other ones haven't won twice, and this one has, and it won at 2 nice prices. It won the very first race for us in Punchestown this year. That was a listed novice hurdle. I think we backed that at 6s that day, and then it ran in Killarney in a listed hurdle as well. When it drifted in, I think it's 5-1 that day. OASP'd at 4. But if you look at the field in it, you had a hot favourite in that day was Party Central, 7-4 favourite. Like that went off, ran today in the hurdle race. Shecouldbeanything went out in front that day.
Is night and day. The third last flight. Shecouldbeanything continues in front. Now being wound up Party Central. Walk with Paul there on the outside and then Silent Approach. Anna Benina has folded 2 out. Shecouldbeanything challenged on the outside by Walk with Paul. And these two fight on to the final flight. And Silent Approach labouring his Party Central, and it's Walk with Paul. Patiently ridden by Conor Brassel. They just take a narrow advantage out of Shecouldbeanything and Donamila. The final flight. Shecouldbeanything has rallied back on the inside of Walk with Paul. Silent Approach is keeping at it in third. It's Shecouldbeanything. Game to the last.
Shecouldbeanything. I hope she is. I hope she is something tomorrow for us. Lot of Joy is back quick again, but after the flat run the other day, but she's iffy over hurdles. Buddy 1 is a decent one as well, but we can go each way on that horse there at 5, 6 and 11-2, whatever, 5 places. Loyal bet. The 5.30 is a yard that's doing all right in Galway. There's a couple of winners, and a couple of them were in hard luck, I thought, with that one of Wells today. I can't think of the name of it. Keep in Touch. When he set sail from home and turned for home, I thought he was home and home, but because he got collared on the line, he was 9-2, and I think he went off 5-2 favourite. But Captain Maverick for Dermot Well went off at 28-1. It's well bred enough, like by Free Eagle out of a famous name mare. Went off 28-1 and was second. That's the selection in that, but I wouldn't be putting the pension on it. The 6 o'clock is the Blazers. Blazers Handicap Chase. Now, there's a horse there that's coming over from England. We backed a good while ago. It was 9-1 earlier. Anyone that backed it before, I remember I tipped it up when... or were we on Revels Hill the day in Ascot? Remember that race in Ascot, the 18th of November? I think you were there and beat Revels Hill, or we were on, I don't know, one of them, but they're sending it over anyway. But there's a I'm have to, oh Jesus Christ, oh man, I'm have to get in a cramp. Oh man, oh Jesus Christ. I'll have to, no, I'll keep going. They're paying 5 places and 6 places there tomorrow. Would you believe what I'm going for is 40-1? Fire Attack. Fire Attack ran on the Galway plate last year and would have got in this year too, I think, under 141. And he was going well in the plate last year. There was one by Hewick. And he fell about, was it 3 or 4 out, but he buckled on landing. It was the landing gear that frigged him. And he had won on goodish ground before that. The ground is drying out. He's only 8 and he goes well fresh. He won first time out, and then he won after a break in October 2021. That was his first chase run. Hosed up at 4-7. And they're running him into that, he hasn't ran since April. A small bet at 40-1, I'm paying 5 places. He could pop out tomorrow, and if he's like O'Brien, should have him fairly fit for Jigginstown tomorrow. I know it could be nuts, but you have to be nuts sometime. Anyway, on to the 6:35. This is the horse that ran in that race in Ascot, Weston. It came from Germany. These are a shrewd outfit, and whoever they're buying for them, or maybe they're sourcing them themselves. It ran in Leopardstown first time out against Smooth Tom. This is him here, right? Just where I have the Dugene. Gets into horrid trouble altogether.
Tough range has made up a lot of ground on the inside of Timurid as they come off the final bend, and it's Kingswear kicking on too clear from Alma Libre. Full of
they're a great horse with the
making good ground in the centre, then tough range up the rail is Finnan's Bay. Racing
orange
the
and white
furlong,
hat.
it's Kingswear from Gillett in the centre. On the outside is Smooth Tom. These 3 spaced across the track. Then Finnan's Bay and tough range. Turbulence next with New Hill, Mr. Rango and Alma Libre. Down the outside is Wild Dollar, but it's Smooth Tom who's raced on ahead of Gillett and Mr. Rango. Turbulence, Kingswear weakens, then Finnan's Bay. It's Smooth Tom running away to win in style from Gillett and Mr.
That should set him up after the run then and was over 2 mile. This is 1.5 miles. Good stiff finish tomorrow. Would you believe that horse opened up 12-1 this evening? Now, I didn't get on. I spotted it and when I went back to 6s. And the next thing it was into 4s. It's into that price now. There's a few of them there that they're teed up, I would say, for the race, but the 2 runs that I've seen I'd expect that to go horror close tomorrow with an uphill finish suitable. I'm going for a Wells horse again in this race, Eziva. Each way at 6-1 there. The reason being it's a 3-year-old. 3-year-old has won this race several times, but it was behind Waltham the last time, and Waltham came out and won again. Won by 6 lengths. So that seems to be good enough for him, line to go on. I'll speed it up now. I'll be lame tomorrow after this cramp I got. I'm going for well again here. Partisan Hero. This is in Killarney. First time in a handicap. 15-2 into 5-1. The nose well handicapped of 60. Up a pound for this. It's going to be in the Myglaire colours, Myglaire stud colours on the very left. Staying on.
From So Messi pushed along one from the rail. After them and closing is a memory. Then final check. Out wide, Partisan Hero begins a run with Gold Mine. Inside the final two, Waterman the leader still. From a memory, in between horses is So Messi. Then final check, Claytus. After them, Partisan Hero and Gold Mine and Man of Style and Cherry Pink. Racing to the final furlong. It's Waterman attempting hard to fight them all off. Final check has got a seam through on the inside to take over the running. Then So Messi, Partisan Hero with late gains ahead of a memory, but it's final check in Andy Slattery from So Messi. These two, final check on the inside with a final say.
That'll have no trouble going up the hill tomorrow night. Whether it'll be in time or not for the post is another thing. On to the 8-10. Big punt on Mount Leinster here. Open at sixes. First run in the me colours. Hasn't ran on the flat for a couple of years. The last time it ran was in 2021 in Listowel to second to Barbados, 4-6 favourite that day. Well bet, and it had ran in the Ebor prior to that to Sunnyboy Liston. Good old chaser there, but it seems to have been bought by the Mees. This is what I'm adding up now. Bought by the Mees to run in this tomorrow because it's the first time in the colours. But I'm staying with Dawn Rising. Dawn Rising won that race in Ascot. We were on Le Grand Vizier. Younger Harsh. I can only go on the form I see, not what others are thinking that may happen. So I'm on Dawn Rising. It had been 30 Ashen in Leopardstown prior to going to... and then we have in the last race, finally looks like that Belgoprince is getting a run. Bit of money for it there earlier as well. Tipped it up twice lately, it didn't run. And Colin Keane is up tomorrow for Tony Martin. Looks like the handbrake will be in the off position. So... the one we dream of, we backed on one on before, but was a bit disappointed the last time. Over jumps, didn't he get bet in Down Royal? No, in Cork. Natural Look. That we had backed the previous twice, and it won at 14-1 that day, and we didn't back it because I thought this one was better. Anyway, it's 1/4-1. I better get this up. Jesus Christ almighty, I'm away on too long, but there was a good lot of stuff there I wanted to get through. Anyone that wants to listen to it, but I'll try and get them up in the description as quick as possible. So bash the bookies, over and out.